How was bye week?
It was good. It's always good to have a bye week. Get a little step back from it, and I think that one came at a good time for us. Injury-wise is always the biggest thing when you think about bye weeks for a program. So I think it came at a good time for us, to get some guys back healthy and make a run at it. But it's time to go back to work, so it'll be a long grind.
Looked like you spent the bye weekend out in California with Grant Calcaterra.
Yep.
How'd that come together?
Grant's been a guy, he enrolled early, so he's been here since January, and he's been a guy that he fit in well ever since he stepped on campus. And I always try and talk to the younger guys a little bit, but we've become good friends, I think, between Mark Andrews and I, and now I'm living not only with Jackson Yules but Tanner Schaefer. So we have a good group of friends right there that, football brings together lifelong friendships, so I think Grant's going to be one of those guys for me. So it was fun. We just talked about it, and his family comes to they try and get to every game. So talked to them, and they were like, "You should come out to California for the bye week." I said, "You don't ask me twice, I'll do it." So it actually happened.
Baker, before last year's Iowa State game, and Joe was out, and Samaje was out, did you envision Dimitri having the game he would have?
No.
And as it unfolded?
Dimitri's he's a very versatile athlete, and so he's able to do a lot of things, but at the same time, I never would have imagined it going that smoothly. I mean, he's done a lot of things for us, being able to react, and he's such a smart player that, I probably should have realized that could happen, but, he really took over the game and made a big difference for us, having, like you said, those guys out for us, and Abdul Adams at that time being very young and not necessarily knowing exactly what to do at all times. So Dimitri really hadn't taken a rep at running back, and so until that week, and so that's a lot of stuff to learn. But I think he already had a good idea just because of how smart he was.
I asked him if he could have 10 rushes or 10 catches in the game. He chose catches, so.
He'll take just 10 touches with the ball. He loves having the ball in his hands, which I can't blame him. He's good with it, so he'll take it.
Baker, how nice was it in the last game to have Trey Sermon be able to fill that closer role, a lot like Samaje used to? And then how impressive is it that a freshman was able to take that on?
It's great to have that luxury for sure. I think you said it perfectly. It's something like Samaje used to do. They're two different players, but the same type of running, very physical. And late in the game, when you wear a defense down, you see that bigger effect of how many plays you run or how long the game's gone on. So it's great to have that luxury, knowing that we don't even have to throw the ball in the fourth quarter to pull out the victory. So it's good to have that on our side. And so not only Trey, but it starts up front, and I think we really established the line of scrimmage later in that game.
Baker, last year you guys had 2 running backs who kind of stole the show. This year you have 4 guys who are kind of taking the workload. Mm-hmm. How key is it for you guys to have 4 guys who can all play at a high level? I
think it's very important for us. We talked about, we had a deep running back room last year, but at the same time, not everybody knew what they were doing. Abdul was young last year, and Rodney was hurt. But it's important for us now. You get a guy that's hot, you keep feeding the ball, and you see what it does for us. Abdul in the first half, and even Marcellus too was running it well, and then you put Trey in there in the second half, and you see what can happen when you just give a guy a chance and let him run with it. So I think it's great for us, having a little mix-up here and there. And so I think that we have the explosive guys, and then we have the power runners as well. So we kind of have it all in that room right now.
Was there any body part of you that needed 1 week's rest?
No, I've been fortunate enough to stay healthy, so keep that going. I think that goes hand in hand with how I'm playing. I took a couple more shots against Baylor that I hadn't taken in a while, but it's football. I'm going to take those hits, but like I said, the bye week wasn't for me resting my body. It was more for those other guys that really put their body on the line each week.
Baker, the last couple of years, I think everybody's looked at Alabama and Clemson as 2 teams that have kind of separated themselves, and they're kind of getting that same type of hype this year. How much can that motivate you guys as a team to get better and not, just worry about, overlooking people, but actually strive to get better week after week, to be included in that category?
Yeah, well, I think first, both those teams are playing really well right now. I think that showed with Clemson this past week. That quarterback's young guys playing really well, and then obviously don't even need to go into the defensive talks. They're great too, and obviously Alabama's outscoring people 1,000,000 to 0. So it is what it is. Those programs are great year in and year out, but for us, we don't need any motivation from the outside. We haven't arrived yet. We haven't done anything yet. We'll be able to do that talking and see how we stack up against those guys after Atlanta. So, for us, we don't need to worry about that. It's about Iowa State right now and taking care of business each week.
Baker, you mentioned not needing motivation from the outside, but it seems like every week there's some kind of slight that's motivating you personally. What is it this week for Ohio State against a team that you guys have dominated a lot in the past?
They're a very physical team, and so no, we don't need any motivation from the outside, but it comes from within. The fact that they've matched up against us physically very well the past couple of years, and I think that's just the type of guys they bring in their program and the coaching they instill. So that's something that you always like competing against. You're going to get their best shot, and we're going to get everybody's best shot, but especially against a team like that, they're going to be physical, and so I think it's a good game for us coming after a bye week. Realizing that you got to get back into it right away, or else this team's going to hit you in the mouth.
Baker, you guys have won 17 consecutive conference games. What do you attribute that success over the last 2 years to?
Taking it 1 week at a time. I think a singular focus and not worrying about, we have big goals and aspirations about playoffs and national titles, but at the same time, to get there, you got to take it 1 week at a time. You can't let a team slip up on you or creep up on you, and so I think a lot of that it comes from the top down. That's coaching, installing that in us, and I think that's something that I've been able to learn from and take within from that, and I've been able to kind of translate it, individually throughout the locker room. But it starts from the top, and our coaches have done a great job every year of that.
A lot of folks the last couple of weeks have grabbed onto your personality as well as your football. It's nothing new for you, I realize, but the aftermath of the Ohio State game and even last time out in Waco, do you notice when people pay attention to what you say and how you act as well as how you play football?
Yeah, no, I think that's something that I always try and do. I think that's why I've been voted team captain, is because I always try and get the best out of my teammates, and I think that I can get an edge on an opponent very quickly. It's just I always I'm aware of my surroundings. And no, I didn't think Eddie was going to be at midfield videoing, but he was. But within those lines, there's stuff that's said that it's not always caught on camera. So I think, my personality, it's something that never changes. So what you see is what you get. It just might not always be, recorded on the field.
You're just a great videographer.
Baker, with that, what sort of pride do you take in that?
Of what?
In having that weight to how you carry yourself in words and being a leader.
It's something that's important for me, and it's something that I've appreciated over time is, realizing the position I'm in is a special one, and being able to have that effect on my teammates and a program and in the fans that come with it. It's a special privilege, and so I think for me it's, if I was a different fan base, I would definitely say they wouldn't like me, and I don't blame them. But at the same time, if I'm in the program, I earn that respect from the people around it, and that's what matters to me. It doesn't matter what's on the outside.
Do you ever worry that purists get the wrong message from that?
If they're being soft, they can come on the field. This game's not soft. It's not meant for soft people. It's a violent game, and it's meant to be played with an edge. And the tougher and more executed people win. And so that's just how it is. And it's different. It's changing game, but I think that's part of social media. Getting a hold of it and people thinking that this game is something that it's not. It's still football. It's going to be physical. It's going to be an edgy game, a chippy game, and that's what matters.
Do you ever worry about giving other teams locker or poster board material?
I don't think they could motivate their team better than I could. That's not something I worry about. I watch what I say. I'm not trying to put, poster board material on there because I know how teams can react with that, but at the same time, it's my job in the position I'm in to motivate my team to be more ready than them.
Dimitri said if he didn't start at fullback, he'd start at quarterback. And he'd give you a run for his money.
Did he actually say that?
Oh, yeah. What do you talk about his
He'd have to stop eating cake and desserts if he wanted to do that.
Just talk about his personality and how he really is a pretty...
I'm not one that lacks confidence, but Dimitri is definitely not one that lacks that either. he's a good athlete, don't get me wrong. And so I've heard stories that from the Knight brothers, because they grew up playing baseball against him in San Antonio, that he was a heck of an athlete. I mean, he was starting center fielder and, led his team to be great. So, we'll see. I'm sure if he actually spent time and effort into playing quarterback that he'd actually be pretty good, which is the sad part about that, I might actually have to worry about my job. So luckily we have a place for him, and he's catching the ball and on the receiving end from that.
Do you guys have a bulletin board anymore, or does it all just get sent to you?
A lot of that, comes from social media. So you see it. You see people sending you stuff. I get text messages all the time. Like, did you see this? I'm like, no, but now I have. Thank you. So it comes with the territory, and so I think that I take notes here and there of what people are saying, just to kind of help our guys out to not lose focus and always have that edge. But it's hard to have a true clip-on bulletin board nowadays.
Baker, did Coach say anything to you after that penalty in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely addressed that, and that's something that it can't happen, especially in my position. I mean, luckily we're able to rebound and capitalize the next play, but that's something that it hurts your team, and that's another reason why we're so proud of Orlando Brown is he's eliminated those things that used to hurt us, and so I unfortunately did that to our team, and we were able to bounce back, or else it might have been a different story.
Baker, who sends you those things?
I mean, you get friends and other people that just send it randomly. I mean, they're always, it's not out of malicious intent, but they just send it just because it's going on. It's something interesting to talk about. That's how this world works nowadays.
You never thought about just shutting down social media during the season?
I do, actually. I mean, I don't really get on it until I'm looking to post something. You walk through the locker rooms, and the new locker room is something that I haven't been used to for the past couple of years in the portables, is we have TVs everywhere. So there's always a sports talk show or something on that you see now. So even though I'm not always going through my phone on social media, that it's hard not to see that stuff, because I'll like I said, I'll get text messages with a screenshot or a link to something.
Baker, could you ever thought this offense could get this diverse? Probably don't have what you call a go-to receiver through 4 games. You don't have a defined number one running back.
I have multiple go-to guys. It's just the fact that it's not one against everybody else. We have more depth. I have a bunch of go-to guys that I trust, and I think that although we don't have an established starter at running back, it's been a joke in our locker room that it says this person or on the roster. So it's funny to us because we have so many guys that are so talented, and so I expected that, and I said that before the season, that it's going to be more, spread out. It's going to be more balanced, and which is exactly true. I think we've shown that so far, that we don't have to necessarily count on anybody, which is good to have. So we'll keep that going.